Welcome and thank you for joining our web seminar, Mineral Oil-Free Metallic Inks. We had this event already in December. We would like to repeat it to give all those who did not have the opportunity to attend this seminar in December another chance, another opportunity to learn about the regulations of the French Mineral Oil Ordinance for printing inks, and particularly for metallic inks. That have been in force since this year. But first, we would like to introduce ourselves. My name is Thorsten Schmelich. I'm at ECKART since about 18 years. I'm working in the technical service department and focusing a little bit on the Asian areas and also about sustainability aspects for the graphic arts industry.
And my name is Yvonne Plesko. I'm the head of technical and research services for the graphic arts market at ECKART. I work for ECKART since 18 years as an engineer for product development and technical service. Me and my team supporting the technical requests for all printing technologies in the EMEA region. During our seminar, you can use at any time the chat function to ask questions. We will try to answer them at the end of the presentation or separately after that. We will share the full presentation to you in the next days. So, what are the topics for today? Today, we would like to clarify the following aspects at our seminar. First of all, what is a mineral oil? What is the definition of them? Which regulation exists for mineral oils, and what are the reasons for the exclusion of them? The causes of mineral oils in packaging, and what role do they play in the recycling process? What is unique for the new French legislation? And which analytical methods are used to detect them? At the last point, how do we at ECKART ensure that our products meets all the legal regulations? First of all, I will come to the definition. What is a mineral oil? Mineral oil can be divided into the following chemical groups. First, mineral oil hydrocarbons. This is the generic term for MOSH, MOAH, and also PAH. MOSH means mineral oil saturated hydrocarbons. MOAH means mineral oil aromatic hydrocarbons, and PAH is a part of MOAH that means polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. Mineral oils are produced from feedstock originated from the petroleum hydrocarbons, and they are used for the production of printing inks and raw materials, among others. They include also short-chain hydrocarbons, like petroleum distillates, as used for the milling of metallic pigments, but also for short-chain length fractions of waxes.
Yeah, and for us it's very important to talk about such short-chain hydrocarbons, because in the so-called wet milling process for aluminum flakes, in its conventional way, such mineral spirits are used as a process medium, as a carrier. While for most coatings application, like in solvent-borne systems, the solvent is not a problem. Mineral spirits, however, are not suitable in most inks systems. And though the mineral spirits used by ECKART has typically a shorter chain length as the banned aliphatic hydrocarbons, which are considered as MOSH for the French regulation, it cannot be completely ruled out that by the chain length distribution by such substances which are supplied from the supplier and is not often a single material or single raw material, and many molecules are present. So this can lead to the fact that some of them are categorized by the definition of the French regulation. Therefore, ECKART applies a solvent exchange process in which these aliphatic solvents are dried out and replaced by other suitable mediums like solvents or, for example, alcohols or esters, depending on the end use of the intended product. So like printing paste for gravure, for example, contain esters or alcohols.
Okay, the use of mineral oils are regulated at various levels. First of all, at the European level, the European guideline recommends only the monitoring of mineral oils, not more. In Germany, the draft of mineral oil ordinance is in progress, so nobody knows when it will be active. But in France, passed a law against waste in the circular economy in 2020, which regulates the use of mineral oils on packaging and for printed products. This law was divided. This law was divided into two stages. Since 2023, aromatic hydrocarbons are regulated with 1%. Since this year, all allowed limits for saturated aromatic and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons are much more stricter than before. But what are the reasons for the exclusion of mineral oils in packaging materials? First of all, sure, they have a migration potential to foodstuff if it is used for food packaging. Saturated hydrocarbons, MOSH, are considered as hazardous to health. Aromatic and polyaromatic substances have a cancerogenic potential. All of them have a bioaccumulation in environment, but on the other side, a safe recycling of paper and carton-based packaging can only be guaranteed if the recycled material has a low content of mineral oil. So how do mineral oil gets into a packaging? The biggest impacts are, sure, mineral oil as a component in an ink formulation. Transfer of mineral oil originated from recycled paperboard by themselves, or varnishes, glues and adhesives or other polymers as a part of the packaging. But also possible is the impurity in the process. For example, machine oil during the ink production or the printing process, and sure, pure possible impurities from the packaging goods by themselves can lead into a mineral oil in paper, what is to be recycled. In the next two slides, I will explain in more detail the first two topics. Sources of mineral oil in a printing ink can be, sure, the printing oil in a mineral oil-based conventional offset ink. This can be avoided by using vegetable oils or ester fluids. A second source of mineral oil in metallic printing ink can be an aluminium paste, as Thorsten explained before. In the standard production process for aluminium, mineral oil spirit is used as a process carrier. To prevent this contribution with a solvent exchange, it is possible to achieve a mineral oil content lower 0.1%. But we as ECKART established a new mineral oil-free wet milling technology. Pigment pastes and printing inks based on this technology are absolutely free of mineral oil. Also, other ingredients of a printing ink like additives, waxes, binders, whatever, or organic pigments can be sources of a mineral oil in a printing ink. To prevent this, yeah, sure, a reformulation is necessary. The second part was the paper. So printing inks that may contain mineral oil are used on paper substrates or packaging, and this will end up in a paper waste. Mineral oils from non-de-inked paper waste can be transferred to recycled cardboard. Therefore, this transfer can result in mineral oils in a new packaging. This can be prevented by use of fresh paper pulp or applying the de-inking process to the paper manufacturing if recycled paper pulp source is used, and the prohibition of use of mineral oils in the printing industry in generally is possible to establish a mineral oil-free material stream. So, but not all papers are suitable for recycling, as the inking is not possible with today's methods. And the inking is the key process for secure recycling. The following types of papers can therefore be distinguished. First of all, paper sources which already used in the de-inking process today, for example, graphic papers or commercial printing. The other one is paper sources which are coming not to the recycling stream today. For example, packaging papers or folding cardboard from pharmaceutical, tobacco, food, and so on and so on and so on. But also clear is not all that some paper waste will never be suitable for the inking process and for the manufacturing of high quality paper and board materials, for example, a metallized board or something like that.
Yeah, so now the new French regulation prohibits the use of the mentioned mineral oil components, which were mentioned by Yvonne. This is valid for packaging and for printed products intended for the public. This applies to all printing ink technologies and all printed products, with no distinction between packaging or graphic paper or packaging materials and printing technologies. As shown in the last slide, not every package material is a part of recycling with the inking. Therefore, for a sustainable paper production without mineral oils, it is crucial to eliminate all the possible sources of mineral oil and to prevent such contaminations. So on the next slide, here once again, the regulation concerns aromatic hydrocarbons with 3 to 7 aromatic rings, as well as aliphatic substances with 16 to 35 atoms. Additionally, the polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons with a 1 ppm limit. So, and now we would like to explain a little bit the analytical methods for the identification of MOSH and MOAH residues, especially in ink products, and the limitations and requirements for a comprehensive and safe analysis. This is the main target. Yeah. The determination has to be done with the ink product itself, as to qualify it as a legal product regarding the French regulation. So looking at the threshold values again, it is clear that with a instrumental equipment with high sensitivity, this is required. And in fact, with the detection level or the detection limits of 0.5 to 1 parts per million as the standard in modern analytics, we are not far away from the allowed limits of the polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, which are set by these regulations in printing inks. Therefore, a special focus must be placed on possible contaminations, and these substances are in raw materials. The instrumental equipment that is suitable for such low detection quantities is GCMS, So gas chromatography with mass spectroscopy and in the single ion monitoring mode. With such an instrumental setup consisting of MS, it's very all the analytics can be done. However, with just gas chromatography or FID, flame ionization detection, a systematic and quantitative analysis on MOSH MOAH, in particularly the PAH, is not possible because the level is too low. So while the limits of the 2023 regulation were still quite easy to achieve or quite easy also to determine in the detection mode of analytical expertise, at the level of 1% on MOAH, for example, this is not a big challenge. But now we are facing considerable new challenges for the instrumental equipment and especially also the analytical expertise for the 2025 regulations. As challenges for the analytical labs, we can describe the following. First of all, unfortunately, the legislator, the French government, has not set any specifications for the analytical tests that users can adhere. So there's no generally applicable procedure available for carrying out and evaluating the analysis. This means that there's also not objective error analysis available of the measurement results. And simply because not such a defined measurement procedure is available. The analytical detection of the polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons is also a very difficult challenge, and it's also intensive in the testing procedure and in the end also expensive for the test costs. And depending on an instrumental detection limit of 0.5 to 1 parts per million, it is also considered as critical regarding the meaningful results. Since some analysis institutes are specifying the determination limits at 5 ppm, a serious analysis therefore cannot be really possible. An additional challenge is the possible misinterpretation of analytical results, which we try to explain using the following examples. So in first example, we show you the chromatogram of a binder for offset inks. For the analysts, this initially represents a typical distribution of hydrocarbons. However, if you look at the individual peaks, you will notice that mass spectroscopy detects completely different substances. Here, for example, at the peak, at the retention time 44.6, where you can see the red circle, hopefully, the mass spectroscopy library indicates a substance with a molecular weight of 258, which is not associated with hydrocarbons. So on the left side, you can see the substance cyclopentabenzopyran being allocated by the library, which in fact is not a MOAH substance, but in fact is a synthetic mask, which is used as an aroma in ingredients in perfumes, for example, among others. So in the next page, our example 2, we are looking at mineral oil in printing inks. For the analytical specialists, this chromatogram shows the typical distribution of linear aliphatic hydrocarbons. Let us take a look, however, at the peak at 36.55 minutes. The evaluation of the mass composition of the substance with this retention time at this peak shows very clearly that it's indeed an hydrocarbon. The library refers to hexadecan, which is a linear hydrocarbon with 16 carbon atoms, and thus being clearly recognized as a MOSH substance. So mineral oil, in fact, is clearly by this analysis out of the regulation for the French ban of mineral oils. So we have another example. Here in the third example, we are looking at the chromatography of an organic solvent, in this case, solvent naphtha. I mentioned before, this is a solvent which can be used in some coatings products, and also at ECKART we are using it for some products for the coatings industry. And we are looking at this particularly because we think it's worth to have a look whether there are possible cross-contaminations possible, and whether this could have an influence or an impact for the determination of polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons for our ink products. So while the identification of many substances is relatively easy, as shown in the last example with the mineral oil, there are also cases where our experts in our analytical labs have to go deeper into the analysis to confirm evidence of critical ingredients and such sort out the raw materials of the use for mineral oil-free paints and pigments. As an example, let's look at the chromatogram of solvent naphtha again. A blend of light aromatic carbohydrates used as an inexpensive thinner for paints and varnishes. In this chromatogram, you can see, or the experts in analytical labs can see that everything here looks like a typical mixture of aliphatic and aromatic hydrocarbons. But as by their expertise, they might be also interested to have a look at some of the peaks to confirm whether this is all true for all kinds of spotlights in this chromatography. And they have chosen the peak at 24.90 to check if the library finds a substance known as polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. And on the next page here, you can see in the scan mode as a substance with a mass weight of 120, 1,2,4-3-methylbenzene is found here. However, this has only one benzene ring, not three of which would be relevant for the regulation, and therefore is not subject to the strict regulations for the polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. However, if you are applying the SIM mode, in which the mass spectroscopy collects data at only the masses of interest, naphthalene can be detected as by the correlation to a known comparative substance. In this case, we used a 3 ppm naphthalene solution in methanol. And here it was clearly proven that polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons are present. So as to summarize the challenges for the instrumental analysis of MOSH, MOAH, and PAH, you can say there is no defined test procedure that helps the analytical labs to standardize their methods. The limits for PAH are as low or below the detection limits of commercial analytical labs. And a lot of analytical expertise is required to apply appropriate methods and modes to determine all relevant substances in quantities that are relevant for the regulation. And also it is very important to avoid such misinterpretations and to question the results which are found in the first analysis or in the first evaluation, and if necessary to confirm it with another instrumental method. And for us and for many others as the ink producers and end users, the complex determination is quite expensive, and especially when it goes to external testing. And this is also time consuming, and takes a lot of money into the concrete analysis.
So, and now we will explain you how we at ECKART ensure that our products meet these legal requirements. In the recent months, we established a validation process to ensure that all our products will fulfill the regulatory requirements for the future. At a first step, we did a formulation review for all our formulations, for all our inks, concentrates, pastes, and so on, with the determination of critical raw materials. For these critical raw materials, we evaluated additional detailed regulatory information from the suppliers. As a next step, we inquired the supplier statements for compliance regarding mineral oil contents or impurities in the raw materials by themselves. But as you can understand, that was a big challenge for us, because a lot of our raw materials are technical qualities, and the suppliers were not able to or willing to give us the relevant informations. So then, if we did not get sufficient information, we went as a next step into internal analysis of the raw materials, but also of the intermediates or finished goods. But if the internal results don't give us a 100% secure results, we passed samples also to external institutes for testing of mineral oils. Additional to all that, we also did external analysis from certain finished products, and we have done a risk assessment for our whole production process, including worst case calculation. For this reason, it was over the last year difficult to provide clear statements before all results and assessments were available. The compliance with the new limits of the French legislation can only be guaranteed with the logistic warehousing of the raw materials and production of mineral oil containing and mineral oil free intermediates, inks, and so on are strictly separated. Otherwise, sure, cross-contaminations are possible, and also possible is that we have residues in pipes and filling systems. Therefore, a change in our production setup for offset ink production was absolutely necessary. Additionally, several surveys have shown that worldwide the companies are prepared for the transformation from mineral oil containing to mineral oil free inks. And the market trials, what we are done with our new products, showed very positive results and were accepted by our customers. So in the past, we are offered conventional offset to various ink series, mineral oil containing ink series, and mineral oil free ink series for various optical and technical requirements. Now, we have a whole mineral oil free ink product portfolio. So in the third quarter of 2024, so of last year, we had cleaned our entire offset production site, and after the analytical control of produced cleaning batches, it was possible to offer 2 mineral oil-free ink series, which can achieve the same optical and technical requirements as the portfolio before. Both of these ink series based on different raw material systems. And this offers our customers additionally a higher security of supply. For higher regulatory requirements, we have additionally to our standard portfolio, we offer our established product portfolio for food packaging, for indirect food contact, and this ink series can characterized by separate manufacturing unit, so no cross-contamination is possible. The pigments which we are used for this ink series came from the pigment production without mineral oil, so therefore we have strictly no content of MOSH and MOAH. We have only specially trained staff in the manufacturing side. We use only qualified and controlled raw materials, and migration tests, analytical control, and/or certificates are available.
Yeah, and for us at ECKART, it's very clear that a clear communication and transparency is required regarding the new limits of the French regulation, and it's important for the whole and for the entire supply chain. Therefore, we have prepared statements regarding the compliance for all product groups used in graphic arts with regular updates. So as Yvonne explained, we have mineral oil-free inks right now. We do not produce any mineral oil containing inks anymore. However, other products might still contain traces of mineral oils, and this we want to make clear with our statements, our compliance data sheets. And here you can see, for example, the full compliance of our Rotovario aluminum pastes, which are used in gravure and flexo printing inks, where in the past this was still not 100% clear, but due to analytical work our colleagues have done, we can now completely give compliance to this for these products.
So now I hope this seminar has given you a good overview to the regulatory limits for 2025. It was also shown here we are all facing the challenges to meet these requirements, especially with the analytical part. But the regulation has also given the initiation to update our entire offset manufacturing so that we are now able to provide inks that are state-of-the-art, not only with regard to technical performance, but also from the regulatory point of view, and last not least, from the sustainability aspect. So now we are finished, and thank you very much for your attention. So if you have any questions, please give it us to the chat function, and we will try to answer them.
You can.
Ist hier nichts.
Kannst du das da öffnen? Ich weiß es gar nicht so genau.
Ja, die sind drin, ja. Aber du musst hier in die Chat rein. Da ist nichts drin. Ja. So, after a half hour, we see no questions. So if you have in the next days, here's one question, I think. Okay.
Thanks for your comments.
So if you have in the next days or anything in the next time some questions, you can contact us also directly. I see a question.
The question was posed if I want to use
metal
substrates to metallic inks. Yeah. Well, this is always a bit critical if no absorbent substrate is used for the conventional types of inks, because these printing oils or replacement materials like esters are not drying out. Therefore, we have different ink series.
So the only way to offer a clean product was not to make an exclusive production. Yes. Oder? Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
No cleaning producer. No cleaning producer.
Cleaning procedure was suitable, you mean, for our production, I guess?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we have an external company for the cleaning here in our production, and the cleaning process. So we cleaned everything. We cleaned every tank, every mixing station, everything by an external company, a cleaning company. And after that cleaning process, we test, we produce test batches. And after the analytical control, it was possible to say, okay, now we are totally, so now we are fine, and we have no mineral oil in our production system.
Yeah, the next question was, are mineral oil-based metallic inks still available from ECKART? We have to say no.
No.
We are still considering, for the Asian markets, that our colleagues in China are continue to offer mineral oil-based inks for some applications. But I think also there the trend is very clear, away from mineral containing inks, and let's say the performance which we could luckily achieve with the mineral oil free systems were even higher performance than the in mineral oil containing systems in the past. So actually there's a very good offset now with the mineral oil free systems. That means for Europe we will definitely not return to mineral oil as a carrier or as a ingredient for metallic inks.
Next question: any drying and setting issues will be faced in the mineral oil free ink offset inks? No. No drying or setting issues. So the technical properties of the new mineral oil free ink series are totally comparable to the mineral oil based.
This have been tested by internal tests first, external customer tests. There's a lot of experience right now available.
Yeah, we are test the new ink formulations on various printing machines in the market, different substrates I think on various printing houses by themselves.
Yes. However, if when you test your the series that you select and have any feedback, negative or positive, we would be very happy to receive that. As the market launch is still just some months ago, and it is very valuable for us to learn if there are any issues with the inks, or also if positive to hear that you can successfully use them.
Okay, we have another question. What are your mineral oil free recommendations here in my system for metal packaging? So we have one silver product for non-absorbent substrates, but on metal packaging, I think it is necessary to make tests by yourself. That is the MetalStar SuperEco 08 for 006. Yeah.
So if you need a gold shade, for example, then tinting must be required.
Yeah.
So we do not offer a gold shade for this non-absorbent substrates.
Correct. Another question: are the systems with and without mineral oil free the same in terms of color direction? 877. Yeah, sure. So we don't see any color
significant.
Yeah.
Of course, there are also variations possible, which are, however, from our QC point and also from our technical service point, completely acceptable in a range of batch variations, I would say.
So that was the last question, what we see here now. I hope we answered everything. Yeah.
But yeah, in case you still have further, we will still have an afternoon session here in Germany time at least. And of course, you can also still send your questions via the chat function a little bit later.
Yeah. Okay, then at the end, we will wish you a last question. Regulations give certain limits. Are these limits enough to call it free, or is it correct to call it?
If it meets these limits, that is a little bit difficult. I think the legislation has not defined clearly free of or with traces of mineral oils. So I'm not aware of such a definition, but
but what we make in our you can I have to look into this slide. So what we are done, so we make for all our products, not only offset, so for every application, Gravure, or whatever, we make these statements, and what we say in these statements is the MOSH MOAH content is lower than, so we have the MOSH MOAH content here, lower 0.1%, and we say yes. That is the statement what we give to our customers, and we make it really correct. So we fulfill the requirements, MOSH and MOAH, and also PAH. You see it in our statements, and for every product what we offered for the indirect food contact, so for food packaging, that is sure that we have zero mineral oil in these formulations.
Yes. Only these can be considered as free with regard to mineral oils. The others, here we are careful and we say, okay, these products are compliant to the regulation.
Yeah.
There are limits set, and we are underpassing these limits. So as you can never be sure, the raw material suppliers will never give you guarantee that they meet these French regulations, as these are raw materials for maybe many different applications, not only graphic arts industry.
Yeah.
And therefore we cannot give a kind of statement that it's free of mineral oils if we are not sure from our raw material supplies.
Okay. Yes, we sent the presentation in the next days. So not directly after the meeting, but within the next days, because we have an afternoon session, and we have to prepare it, and in the next days you will get the presentation.
Thank you. Thank you.
Fine. Thank you very much. So, okay, I think
some questions. Thank you.
Thank you too for your attention.
I think it's a quite tough topic, and thanks for your patience and your time for this. I understand it's not a really exciting topic, but it has to be discussed. Yeah, it has to be made clear to the audience and to our customers that how we define our products and how we meet the compliance.
Okay, so then we will wish you. Okay. We will wish you a nice day. And if you have question in this afternoon at European time, so you can go in the next web seminar too. Okay.
Thank you, and have a good day or good afternoon or evening.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.